In our next segment, we are going to talk about Santa Anita on the Saturday card. Still watching all the news very closely. We mentioned on the early week show that the Santa Anita website has a terrific combination of resources where you can look and donate depending on which angle you want to take, whether it's helping displaced animals, whether it's dealing with the Red Cross, if it's a local charity, if it's a more national charity. Go to santanita.com and look at that full bunch of resources there, and make sure, if you're so inclined, you give to help our friends out in California. It continues to be a scary situation. 12,000 homes destroyed, lives lost, a lot of horsemen displaced. And, this isn't just something that affects the celebrities. This has hurt a lot of working class people, including those who work in the horse racing industry. I can't encourage you enough to go on there and have a look. I was texting a little bit back and forth, JK, with Michael McCarthy, friend of the program, friend of ours, this week. And he just sounds like he's going through a lot. I do, at some point when the timing is right, want to have him on to talk about his experiences. But for now, we just wish him and everybody out there the best as they continue to deal with this very difficult situation. In the meantime, though, we can low-key help them out by supporting them, by betting on their racing, because work continues. And obviously it's important for the economics of horse racing out there to get eyes back on this product. And it's been a terrific product so far this year. Not the least because they've done so many cool things to make wagering good for horse players, whether it's the $5 late double with the 15% takeout, the all turf pick 3 with the 15% takeout, the $3 late pick 3. These bets are great. We mentioned in the other segment too about the coast to coast bet. That's back in full action. The 3 races we're going to talk about, the 7th, 9th, and 11th, are all part of that. It kicks off at 4:49 projected post time with Gulfstream's 10th, and you can listen to our analysis of that elsewhere on YouTube, or elsewhere, you might have heard it already, elsewhere on the show if you're listening. But right now, Jonathan, our job is to give the people some winners. Let's start off by looking at race number 6, Calbred Allowance, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. Who do you like in here?
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. Wait, I thought we're race 5, right?
Oh, I had it. Did I miss a race? I wrote down race 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it is 6. But if you have a thought on 5, hit me with it.
Oh, I just did bad math. No, well, I
tries math fails. It has an
yeah. I was going to signal the John Sadler horse, Mr. Miles. Now I can't find it. Miles Finch.
Finch.
I'm good. I'm ready for race 6. I'm going to use a couple in here. I'm going to use the horse on the inside, Duty First, puts the blinkers on, has some speed. Sometimes I like when that happens. When a speed horse draws the inside, it kind of takes away some of the guessing. Send and see if you can advance your position around there. I want to use our Bucky Charm, another one who's got some tactical speed, who I think could end up sitting a pretty nice trip for Mike Pipey. And then I want to also include Devil Among Us towards the outside. This would be my top pick in here. Speed drawn towards the outside, should get a comfortable trip, and should one of these 3 speed horses, it should find a way to be the speed of the speed, because there's not really any closers in here that I'm too concerned about.
Yeah, I tried to play the pace angle in here and find a closer, but I agree, it was not easy. But we end up pretty oppo, because I am going with the 2 I think could close. So one of us will be right, I would think. Duty First, I'll mention, 15-1 on the morning line, does have that rail draw. If the rail looks good, that could be a really interesting one to throw in. But figuring there was so much speed and a closer almost had to win. And there were a couple of closers with decent tactical speed, starting with number 4, Wind Ribbon. I just thought this course could be the only closer. Pratt in the irons made me take notice. Obviously going to be tested for class. I can see why you did not go in this direction, but for me, it might be a pace makes the race thing. And the combination of Pratt on the potential lone closer led me to the 4, Wind Ribbon. The 7, Lonesome Stew, was one I thought could go either way, but I felt like, looking at pace figures, this one was going to work into a stalk and pounce type trip. 3rd off the layoff for a hot barn. and a trip angle, that was enough for me to go 4-7 in here to your 8-1 and 5. I will definitely try to get some speed horses, probably your 8 as at least a backup as we go forward in this pick 6. That's another thing. We're talking about player-friendly things at Santa Anita. The sequence we're covering, the return of the $2 pick 6, and we're going to have plenty of special coverage when we get some carryovers, which will doubtless be happening with the decent field size we've been seeing out there and that $2 increment. The pick 6 continues, and the pick 5 kicks off with the Sunshine Millions, Filly and Mare, Turf, Sprint, Stakes. This is a race it was scheduled for last Saturday. We didn't talk about it because it wasn't in the pick 6 then. It is in the pick 6 now. I went with the 7 Stay and Scam, who looks obvious enough. Tactical speed, should get a good trip, likes the downhill, nearly won this race last year, and just to me has an edge on figures and form. The number 1, Barbera. It's wild to me. This one's trying turf for the first time at 5. Given that the dam ran 2 of her 3 best figures on the green, and the lone sibling was a multi-time winner on the turf with consistent 80s figures. That pedigree angle, plus the fact that this one could be loose on pace figures, made me want the 1. 7-1 for me in this Sunshine Millions, Filly and Mare, Turf Sprint. Who do you like?
Yeah, it's just Stay and Scam for me. This is a situation, you look at Timeform US, it has the 1 and the 7 in very, very comfortable pace scenarios. The 1 I don't think is good enough. The 7, and you look at the past performances, there's nothing speed about the 7 really. The horse is definitely a horse that's going to finish. So if they're going to put this horse, the 7, Stay and Scam, in a good spot without any real issue in terms of being challenged, this horse is going to finish like a good horse that's going to be already up close. This is one of those situations I think works out perfectly for this horse. I'll just single the 7.
I hear you. The only reason I'm really throwing the other one in is 20-1 in the morning line, and you might get all of that. And, I did the digging on the pedigree. I feel like I'm going to throw that one in for a penny, but it will be heavily weighted towards Stay and Scam. So we're more or less in lockstep there. Let's move to race number 3. This one we did on last week's show. Maiden claiming 50, going 6 furlongs. JK will keep it with you.
Yeah, you almost got me, but you didn't. It was close.
We got a JK Matt fail. We're not also going to get a mute fail.
It's always possible. It's always possible. Look, I thought that this horse, this race felt like the Gypsy Cowboy again. A horse that had some talent, that showed some talent, and obviously, in a much tougher spot last time, didn't do any running. But if you look at the numbers in comparison, just the figures alone, this horse is lengths better than the rest of this group. And while I am convinced that the Gypsy Cowboy doesn't necessarily want to win, I do think that he'll win a spot like this versus this type of group. The other thing is, too, when you start wanting to kind of call a horse a chandelier horse that doesn't want to beat horses and ends up being 0-6 or 0-12 or whatever it might be, sometimes you got to look at the odds of the horse and see what's been happening. Horse was 71-1 last time, so you're disappointed that he didn't win. He was 6-1, and that's the shortest he's ever been, where he ran third, beaten 8, 27-1, 10-1, 25-1, 33-1. To me, the person responsible for that is his trainer, putting him in spots he can't win, or his owner. You never know. It could be an owner pick the spot thing. But I think that getting down with this group is going to help quite a bit. I'm going to single the Gypsy Cowboy.
You picked last week. I had in my top 2 last week, and I have again. And I said I said the same thing in a slightly different way. Horse has been over his head the whole career and is now realistically spotted. Has back races to win. It's just a question of what the price is going to be that led me to pick another one technically on top. I've got the Gypsy Cowboy as an A, but I wanted to try the 9 Day at the Track. Got up into contention briefly, going farther against better in a fast-paced race. The point I made last week, ran to a 101 Timeform US around the 6 furlong mark there. Needs to show the other surface will be okay, but the cutback should suit. And the best sibling did win twice on dirt. 9-3, 3-9. Book it. Let's move on to race number 9. Another one we talked about on the show last week. The Unusual Heat Turf Classic Stakes. 175,000 in the pot. And a big full field signed on. I thought that the 3 Old Pal was very interesting. Done excellent work going 9 furlongs in the past. Many competitive races, including a course and distance win. And the one On the Whim, I liked a little bit in here. had a tricky trip from a tough draw at Del Mar last time. Should go better second time out. Won at this level before. Maybe a perfect trip in behind the speed and get the jump on the deep closers. Distance is a question mark. I had it 3-1. How do you have it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-7. The two Mark Glatt horses, the old pal for all the reasons, just seems better and faster than most of these. But the Aligato, who I thought ran extremely well last time, closing into a slow pace, won the race prior to that, has numbers that are just a taste behind. You get the red hot, an eventual Eclipse Award winning Flavian Pratt. And then I'm going to use On the Whim as a B, the one horse that you mentioned down on the inside. Another one that has some competitive numbers and is one of those that's going to save a lot of ground down on the inside. Has some tactical speed to be able to get at spots too. You see how that horse ran down the hill a couple of starts back, gives you some confidence that if they get into a little bit of a jam down in there, we'll have a little bit of maneuverability to be able to get out of that spot and save some ground down on the inside. So I'll go 3-7 as A's and the 1 as a B.
All right. You mentioned the Eclipse Awards. That's going to be happening in South Florida this week, part of Pegasus Week festivities. We got a ton of coverage for you on the In the Money Network. We'll be doing something with our friends from NBC. We'll be back with expanded coverage. It's going to be great fun. Make sure you subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel so you don't miss any YouTube exclusive content that we might have. And the best way to keep track of everything we have going on, inthemoneypodcast.com/email is a good way to do that. Another race we talked about last week, California Chrome, Cal Cup Derby. At least I think, yeah, we definitely talked about this race last week. And because my opinion changed slightly. I have the same 2 A's that I had before, but I'm going to add a B. Shea Brennan is a stakes winner looking to stretch that speed an extra 16th. Improving the form horse. I need this one on side. I made the joke about if Redham had to license the R. Heisman name from Rich Averill. This horse was favored last time, ended up punchless late. I just thought deserved one more chance to go long and kind of a must-use on numbers. But then I was looking, and I was thinking, with question marks about the distance to the top 2, I did want to have at least one backup line on the 4, Accidental Genius, who we know does like the distance and could be the best one late. This is a horse probably more for verticals, probably more for second, third, and fourth, but definitely will have, a penny on top in the horizontals as well. 1 and 6 on the A line, 4 on the B line for me. Who's your idea of the winner?
Yeah, I'm gonna use a couple in here. I'm gonna use Shea Brennan down on the inside, who showed speed last time in that King Glorious that a lot of them exit, and from this inside position, kind of like that idea. They know the horse gets comfortable on the front. They know the horse can wire the field, and so why not pop him away from there on that inside? And then got him, caught him towards the outside is one that it's a fun name to say too. Who didn't run particularly well at Los Al in that King Glorious. But I'm going to forgive that, and I'm going to go to that maiden special weight win, going 5.5, and all that talent and all that speed. I'm just hopeful that they can pop away from there, get comfortable sitting on the outside, get a similar trip, but maybe appreciate the racetrack a little bit more. Those are the 2 that I'm going to use. I will use Whiskey Gin and Whiskey Gin and Brandy as a B. Who I thought at a big price last time in that King Glorious ran pretty well considering.
I'm not sure what kind of a cocktail you make with whiskey, gin, and brandy, but we'll put that 5 runner as a B, the 1 and the 8 as A's for JK in the Cal Cup Derby. We close it out with our nightcap 3-year-old fillies, Calbreds, the Leanne Howard Cal Cup Oaks, going a mile. Once again, big full field here when it comes to all these bets, JK, all these late picks. How are we going to get paid?
Yeah, I want to make sure I use Pavel is appealing towards the outside, who is getting on the grass for the first time, but has shown some talent, a couple of wins to get started in the career. So I don't love the draw for a speedy type stretching out, but I think the price is acceptable enough that I can get over that. Hey, Jesse obviously fits in here, comes in off back-to-back wins, a horse that won going a mile as a 2-year-old. And so that's always something that you want to take into consideration, and drawn well enough. And then Grateful My Love, Michael McCarthy with that Danzig Candy. Another one who's got some nice numbers getting over to the grass. And it's one of those deals where if a good trainer that I believe is a good trainer does something or it's making a change, I generally give them the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing and that it's going to work out. Michael McCarthy's in that category. And the last one I'll use is tequila and therapy down the inside, towards the inside, for Doug O'Neill, who has some races, tried those, some turf races that are good. And then what happened in that situation, in my opinion, is when you have a Calbred like this, we see it in New York very often too. No matter what the surface they prefer is, the money is so good in some of these spots. You have to, and the competition is so limited. You have to take a chance. And it feels like they just took a chance on the dirt, and some of these expensive, dirt Calbred stakes didn't work out. Getting back to the grass now.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, all four of those make sense. There were two of them that I wanted to highlight, though, more than the others. We'll start off with I got myself in the wrong screen here. We'll start off with Grateful My Love. You made the point about McCarthy pulling the right strings, generally speaking. I felt like there was enough turf in this pedigree, and we've talked before about the idea that a lot of these, it is true, they're not all ambi surface, but a lot of them are. Grateful My Love, I thought, had the chance to improve the needed 3 lengths past the key rivals today. Hey, Jesse, just too obvious. Won well on the turf before. Back that up with the big dirt win. I'm not getting beaten. 9 and 10 for me to close it out. 11, 10, 9, and 2 for JK. So glad you could join us for this week's show. We've been doing the Players Pods on YouTube as well. Make sure to check us out over there. We're going to thank our founding partners, 10 Strike Racing. I've got the purple, I've got the black, representing our friends over there. Their year's off to a good start. Therapeutic Horses of Saratoga, our charity partner, doing great work helping humans and horses. Learn more about what they do in themoneypodcast.com/horses. We're overdue to get Kim Weir on for an update about what's going on in Chile, upstate New York. Most of all, though, I want to thank all of you, the listeners, for making these shows so much fun to do. This show's been a production of In the Money Media. I'm Peter Thomas Fornatale. May you win all your photos.